The M&M Man. A sweet adventure story. Barnaby was an ordinary man, living an ordinary life. He worked as a baker, kneading dough and creating delicious pastries. But Barnaby had a secret, a strange magical secret. Whenever he touched something, it would transform into a delicious M&M. It started with a simple touch of his hand on a loaf of bread. Poof! It turned into a mound of chocolatey goodness. Then he accidentally brushed against a vase of flowers, and they magically turned into a rainbow of colorful M&Ms. At first, Barnaby was delighted. He had a never-ending supply of his favorite candy. He shared his M&M magic with his friends and family, showering them with sweet treats. But soon Barnaby realized that his magic was causing chaos. He couldn't go to the park without turning the swings and slides into giant chocolate mounds. He couldn't even shake hands with his friends without transforming their hands into M&Ms. Barnaby felt trapped. He wanted to stop his magic, but he didn't know how. He tried everything, washing his hands, wearing gloves, even trying to touch things with his feet. Nothing worked. The magic was unstoppable. He felt like a walking M&M factory. One day, while Barnaby was feeling particularly down, he bumped into his old friend, Professor Plum. Professor Plum was a renowned scientist, known for his eccentric inventions and his love for all things sweet. Barnaby poured his heart out to the professor, explaining his predicament. Professor Plum listened intently, his bushy eyebrows furrowed in concentration. After Barnaby finished his story, Professor Plum chuckled and said, "My dear Barnaby, this is a fascinating case. It seems your magic is tied to your touch. We need to find a way to break the connection between your hands and the M&M transformation." But how? Professor Plum began to tinker with his inventions. He tried everything: magnetic gloves, anti-M&M rays, even a special chocolate-flavored bubble bath. Nothing seemed to work. Barnaby's magic was too strong. Just when Barnaby was about to give up hope, Professor Plum had a breakthrough. "I've got it," he exclaimed. "We need to create a barrier between your hands and the world. Something that will absorb your magic, but not turn into M&Ms. We need to use a giant marshmallow." Professor Plum whipped up a giant marshmallow, as big as a beach ball. He handed it to Barnaby, who cautiously held it in his hands. As soon as Barnaby's fingers touched the marshmallow, a wave of energy surged through him. The marshmallow began to glow, absorbing all of Barnaby's M&M magic. The marshmallow grew bigger and bigger, until it was as tall as a house. Barnaby watched in amazement as his magic disappeared into the marshmallow. He felt a sense of relief wash over him. His hands were normal again. He could touch things without turning them into M&Ms. Barnaby and Professor Plum celebrated their victory with a delicious feast of M&Ms, all safely contained within the giant marshmallow. Barnaby learned a valuable lesson that day. Sometimes the most unexpected solutions are the best ones. And sometimes even a little bit of magic can be too much of a good thing.